Attention, dear viewers. Today, we open the doors to a world of tangled relationships and dark secrets where betrayal and madness intertwine with the truth. Prepare yourselves for an incredible tale of infidelity, where a deceitful wife was hiding far more than her loved ones could have guessed. For an entire year, she misled everyone until it was revealed that her friend wasn't just any ordinary man, but a maniac. Shrouded in mystery and anxiety, she leads us into the abyss of her own deceitful tricks, revealing the darkness that had penetrated her heart and corroded a seemingly perfect world. See how she teeters on the edge of madness, looming over the abyss of betrayal into which she has dragged herself and her partner. What secrets does this enigmatic woman harbor? How did she manage to maintain the image of a devoted spouse while dark passion lurked in her heart and her lover's hands were soaked in blood? This story of an adulterer and a maniac will reveal to you the full spectrum of emotions and open your eyes to the thin line between true identity and the mask of lies. But beware, dear viewers, as you delve into the world of astonishing tales of adultery, where historical facts are intertwined with fantasy and the line between reality and fiction blurs. What will happen to this woman immersed in a world of deceit and crime? Who will be able to rescue her from the grasp of a maniac and destroy this dangerous triangle of infidelity? One thing is clear: you are in for a wild journey inside the intricate mind of a man who plays with lives and will not flinch in the face of the darkest mystery. Join us as we uncover one of the most twisted tales of infidelity that has ever woven a web in the heart of our everyday world. Valentina had been married for 15 years. In that time, she had managed to buy a house, a car, and have 2 children. Her husband was a serious and responsible man working hard. Fedor and Valentina were an ordinary family. They quarreled and made peace occasionally, but on the whole, they lived relatively peacefully. Valentina was not jealous. She knew that her husband loved her, and she herself never gave him a reason to be jealous. Her friends asked her, "So you never once cheated on him?" "Not once," she replied. "Why should I?" "I don't see why not." "Why?" they asked. "Ask our friend Aliona. She's already on her 5th lover. She can't control herself." "I still wonder how she manages to hide everything from her husband for so long," Valentina mused. "But she goes to expensive restaurants, dressed to impress, and drives a brand new car. So we still need to be able to... I don't know, girls. I think Valentina is great. Her husband is not a hobo. He loves her madly, and I do not think he ever cheated on her." Valentina made a joke of it while she recalled how her family life had changed a year ago. Then she accidentally read the correspondence between Fyodor and Nika Marina. As it turned out, they had been together for 8 years. There was a big scandal. Valentina was going to file for divorce. It was the same correspondence that saved the day. In it, he said frankly that he loves his wife and children, would never leave them, and met with her only to relieve stress and for a change of scenery. Of course, at that point, the couple's relationship had already deteriorated. And what ideas could these two have when trust is lost? Valentina could not forgive her husband for a long time. They lived apart for some time. They reconciled only 6 months later, and only Valentina's mother and best friend, Sofia, knew about this unpleasant incident. The rest of the family saw the ideal family in front of them. "How do you live after that? Did you just forgive him?" Sofia asked her. "We live as before. I forgave him, but I haven't forgotten. During any scandal, I remind him of his affair with Marina. He gets terribly angry, and plus the trust is undermined. Every time Fyodor is somewhere late, I think he's with someone else spending time." After Fyodor's secret was revealed, he became more attentive to his wife. He tried to pamper her, showered her with candy, gifts, and flowers. What will happen next? Valentina thought. As before, her husband no longer pleased her. Sometimes she didn't even want to see him. The only reassurance was that he loves their children and does everything for them. Only her mother saw Valentina in such a depressed state, and in public she tried to pretend that all was well. At the time, Valentina had no idea how one chance encounter would change everything. It happened in the summer. During Valentina's terrible heat wave, her air conditioner broke down. She called her friend Sofia, who recommended a repairman. Valentina wrote down the number and was already on the phone 3 minutes later. She heard a pleasant man's voice with a slight crackle. The man's voice sounded pleasant and husky, and gave Valentina slight shivers of excitement. The man on the phone was very polite. After discussing all the details of the specialist's call, Valentina hung up, impressed by the pleasant conversation. At the appointed time, the doorbell rang. The children were out walking, and Valentina was home alone. When she opened the door, she saw a tanned, handsome man with a fine athletic figure. In his hands was a small suitcase of tools. "Well, where's our sick man?" the young man asked and entered the room. "Oh, excuse me? Well, where's your air conditioner?" The man smiled, showing his mistress his perfect smile. "Oh yes, I'm sorry. Please come in." Upon entering the room, the handyman began to examine the cause of the breakdown. He carefully inspected the air conditioner and proceeded to repair it. Valentina froze in amazement. She was overwhelmed with mixed feelings. On the one hand, she was inexplicably drawn to the stranger for some reason, and on the other hand, she reminded herself that she was not free and had to be prudent. "It's nothing serious, don't worry. We'll fix your air conditioner and it'll be running like new in no time," the man reassured her. He made a few adjustments to the equipment, opened the window, checked the condition of the cords and fasteners, and was about to close it when he accidentally touched a flower. Not expecting such an onslaught, it fell down and shattered on a neighbor's parapet. "Oh, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I didn't mean to," the man apologized. But Valentina didn't even have time to react. She was as if under a spell. "You're all right. Payment by cash or card?" "I'll give you a discount for the destroyed flower," the man said, handing her a receipt. Valentina came to her senses, took the receipt and looked carefully at the young man. "Here's my business card. If you need me, call me. It says everything." "You're definitely okay," the man said with a smile. Valentina looked at the business card. The handyman's name was Andre. She smiled confusedly and handed him the required amount. "Thank you, but have a nice day," Andre said as he left. After he left, Valentina stood dumbfounded for another 10 minutes until her son's voice snapped her out of it. "Mom, can we go to the neighbor's yard?" Misha returned from the sea, her son asked. "Of course, darling." "You can go," Valentina replied. All day long, Valentina was under the impression of Andre's voice ringing in her ears. "What is the matter with me? I acted like an idiot. He was just a handyman. I need to get back to reality," she thought. No sooner had she regained consciousness than the doorbell rang. Standing on the doorstep was Andre, holding a pot of Drakina in his hand. "I'm so sorry. Here's a new flower for you." "I apologize for ruining yours," Andre said sincerely. "Oh no, you shouldn't have. It was my fault," Valentina replied. "I insist. It's the least I can do," Andre said, handing her the pot with the flower. "Do you need anything else fixed?" he asked. "No, thank you. Nothing else is broken yet," Valentina replied. "That's too bad." "I mean, it's good that nothing else has broken," Andre said with a smile. "Well, I'll be off then." "Have a nice day," he said before leaving. "You too." Andrew went downstairs. Valentina looked after him for a long time. He turned around once more and smiled at her. "Okay, that's it. The man is very nice, but stop staring at him. It's not decent," Valentina thought and closed the door. The next day she was walking from the store with a bunch of bags and groceries. She saw a bus parked at the bus stop and ran after it. But the driver did not wait for her and left. One of the bag handles broke off and a few apples rolled out onto the ground. "Let me help you," came a familiar male voice with a slight hoarseness. Valentina looked up and saw Andre. "I'm here on a call, but I can give you a ride home." "Oh, you don't have to," Valentina said, picking up the scattered apples on the road. Andre bent down and helped her. They took one apple together. Their hands touched, and feeling an unprecedented shiver all over her body, Valentina took her time and yanked her hand away. "Sit down, I'll take you." "Well, if you don't mind," Valentina laughed. At the same moment, Andre picked her up and her bags and tucked them into the trunk of Vali's car. "Sit down," Valentina obediently sat down. At that moment, I wanted to scream with happiness. Being in such euphoria, she forgot all about her husband and children. They both chatted non-stop almost all the way home. As it turned out, they had a lot in common. As they pulled up to the driveway, Andre helped Vali out of the car and took her shopping home. "Oh, thank you. Thank you for helping me," Valentina smiled. "You're welcome. If you're not in a big hurry, I'd like to buy you a cup of coffee." Valentina hesitated a little. "I'd love to, but I still have a lot to do." Well, if that's the case, I won't keep you." Andre smiled and disappeared behind the elevator doors. What an idiot I am. Why did I lie? I don't have anything to do. But on the other hand, I don't need all this. What if someone she knew saw it? Valentina reasoned. The next day, Valentina took her children to summer school. It was a private school that operated in the summer. There they spent the day playing, eating, singing songs, and learning English. After saying goodbye to them, she met Andre at the exit. He was holding the hand of a red-haired little boy about 7 years old. "Hi there," Valentina said. "Hello. I didn't expect to see you here. I know almost all the parents." "Hi, we're here temporarily. We didn't have anyone to leave him with." "Is this your son?" "No." Andre smiled. "Nephew, if you're not in a hurry, we can have coffee somewhere." "Thank you. But I don't feel like coffee in this heat." "Wait for me here. I'll take the child and we'll think of something." This time, Valentina did not hurry off and decided to wait for Andre outside. After a few minutes, he came out. "Get in the car, I want to show you something." Valentina looked at him and got in the car. After driving around town for a while, they stopped at a small outdoor cafe. "Stay in the car, I'll be right there." Before she knew it, Andre walked up to her. He was carrying 2 waffle cones with ice cream in them. "It's better than coffee," he said. "Let's go for a walk." Andre took her hand, and they went around the corner of the cafe. There was a small clearing and a lake. There was a wooden bench on the shore. "Oh, how nice it is here," Valentina gasped enthusiastically. "Thank you for convincing me to come here. I didn't really want to, but you could see that." With these words, Andre touched Valentina's cheek. "No need," she replied. "It was probably a mistake to come here with a man I didn't know very well, after all." Valentina took his hand away and sat down on the edge of the bench. "I am not a woman of easy virtue. I am married. I have children. This is all wrong." Andre sat down closer to her. "I understand it. I see it and I appreciate it. But you, like me, are attracted to something. Don't deny it. I can feel it." "You imagined it," Valentina said, standing up and walking closer to the lake, turning her back to Andre. "No, I didn't feel it." With these words, Andre came up behind her and put his arm around Valentina's waist. At that very moment, Valentina turned around and looked at the young man. Passion, desire, and fear could be read in her eyes. "What am I doing?" Valentina asked, and she and Andre kissed. From then on, they began to see each other every day. They went to nature, spent time in the hotel and the country house, and enjoyed every minute of it. They wanted to be together. "You're really something, my friend," Valentina told Sophia when she told her everything. "I didn't expect it from you. You were acting like a saint." "Stop it. I'm sick of it all. I hate myself. But he's like that. I can't tell you." And what are you gonna do now?" "What about Thader, the kids, what about them?" "I'm having a wonderful time. For the first time in so long, I feel happy. But be careful not to tell your husband everything." "Why?" Valentina asked. "They'll probably kill me." Bogad, Valentina and Andre continued to meet secretly. He gave her gifts, which she safely gave to Sophia, as she could not bring home, gave her money for various purchases, pleased her with nice little things. At one point, he even confessed that he loved her. Valentina reciprocated. "Now what do we do?" Valentina asked, laying her head on Andre's chest. He looked at her and gently ran his fingers through her hair. "I don't know. Maybe we should leave everything behind and go somewhere," he suggested. "Are you serious?" Valentina asked. "Well, yes. Why not? Your family is here. Your husband. It's all pulling you back and not giving you complete freedom." "Stop it. I'm not going to leave my husband and my kids," Valentina replied firmly. At that moment, Andre's face changed, but he kept his emotions in check. Valentina noticed it but did not say anything. After another week, things became more complicated. Andre changed drastically. He became jealous of her husband and children, flooding her with text messages and phone calls. "I don't even know what happened to him. He's changed so much. He's always calling, and he does it at any time of the day or night. I have to put my phone on silent, Valentina confided in Sophia. Once he called drunk. First he said all sorts of nasty things, and then he apologized, she continued. Well, what can I tell you? Your affair has dragged on. You have to leave him. Otherwise, remember my words, he'll ruin your life, Sophia warned. That evening Valentina thought for a long time, and when she had analyzed everything, she decided to slowly distance herself from Andrei. Suddenly she became very busy. She took a job and talked to him less often on the phone and responded to messages less frequently. Andrei went crazy. He bombarded her with messages, often called, and even waited outside her home, workplace, and her children's school. When Valentina finally told him that she didn't want to see him anymore, he threatened to tell her husband everything. Valentina paid no attention to these threats. She blocked him on social networks and blacklisted him everywhere. A little later, strange accidents began to happen in Valentina's life. First, someone punctured the tires on their car, then, as if with an axe, cut through the metal on the car on the side where Valentina usually sat. But when Valentina began to receive pictures of herself, her children, and her husband, she became frightened. That evening, she mustered up the courage to tell her husband everything. And when everything was cleared up, Valentina took her children and left for her mother's village. A few days later, she received a call from someone, called from an unfamiliar number, and was silent on the phone for a long time. Andrei, it's you. I know it's you. I'm not afraid of you anymore. Okay. Her husband knows everything. You can leave me alone now. There was a long ringing tone on the phone. No one else called Valentina. In the fall, a car pulled up to her father-in-law's house. It was Fyodor, and when Valentina saw him, she went out into the yard. Well, how are you doing, Valve? I miss you. So be one alone, no one's. Come back, I can't do without you. You're all joking. No, I'm serious. I've come to get you. Get ready. At that moment, the children ran out of the house. They were happy to see their father and hugged him tightly. Finally, the whole family was there. Dear listeners, this time I want to leave the conclusions for you. Please write, what are the chances of this family living together for at least another year and a half? I think everything is clear here concerning my position. Here, of course, both husband and wife, yes. Each worth the other, don't they? Husband and wife are one Satan, or whatever they say. Friends, in the meantime, I'll ask you once again to like this video for you, a second, and for the channel. This is a very cool opportunity to grow. Please support me and the channel. I will be grateful to you. And I also don't say goodbye. See you soon.